Day nine.
Day nine.
Last night.
Last dinner with Dame Rosemary Butler.
Yep.
Her wonderful husband Derek, who was so much fun, and Al came to Bottling,
and we had supper together with some of the teachers who were teaching Tabaseka, so it felt just like a little bit of Wales in the middle of Lesotho, and it was very nice to share what we were all doing here in Africa. Then this morning,
yes, we went and met with the chair of IDAL, which is the Intellectual Disabilities Association of Lesotho. I'm working on it. Yeah. And the chair and the secretary from their board, who were both really positive about the prospect of Hijinx coming in and working within their communities.
I think if Hijinx can come to Lesotho next year, that will be helpful to our youth, because they will have second chance for education, and that will also boost their morale, because they are not recognized by anybody, and they would like to be appreciated by the families, by the country, and other people as well. And they also have to appreciate themselves. Yes.
So we've agreed that over the next 12 months we're going to build a relationship with them and work out specifically what their communities would benefit from.
Unfortunately, we were unable to, on this trip, actually reach them because you need a 4x4. So it's a very isolated community in the west of the country. But we're going to start Skyping with the community and seeing what happens in the next year.
Then we moved on to television, and we went and had a meeting with the host of the Lesotho TV morning show, which airs, we think, between 6 AM and 7 AM.
Something like that, yes. And the whole staff team were all there, and we showed them some films of Hijinx, and they did a lot of, which is a very Lesotho sound. They all go, wow, wow. So we've heard wow an awful lot this week. And then they've invited us to come tomorrow. So Jon's shirt was wasted today, yes. So he's going to have to put it on again tomorrow. And we've got a 20-minute interview. So I hope we can find enough things to talk about for 20 minutes.
But that's good, really good exposure.
Yes.
And then we had contact with a parent of a young man that has autism.
And he happens to work for UNICEF and actually happens to be the Youth and Adolescent Development Officer.
Our country is very, in terms of broadly speaking, in terms of capacity to help and to develop people with disabilities, it's still way behind. It's way behind. But if you have an organization that comes into the country and starts giving us alternative ways of interacting with these young people, both in terms of as a program to facilitate their development, but also as a program that will facilitate our communication with them, our understanding of how they feel and give, because some of our autistic children, my child is nonverbal. There is that kind of facility, it will be highly welcome.
But besides that, he has a young son who's 13, and he talked about the struggles of having an autistic child and the struggles of having an autistic child in Lesotho and the opportunities, the limited opportunities that there are.
Recreational facilities or recreational programs for children living with any disability is a problem.
Yeah.
He happened to be also really interested in what we were doing because he happened to be really interested in the performing arts. So
that's where we're at the minute.
Yeah, and he put us in touch with a wonderful young woman called Dinio Sekoete, who is doing a project about storytelling because there's a dearth of theatre. In fact, there is no theatre, there's no drama. She is approaching children finding creative expression through storytelling. So we saw that there was a synergy.
Primarily, it kind of sucks that most of the people who have real stories to tell have someone else telling those stories on their behalf. And it's important for people to have their own voices so that cultural dialogue takes place, and we address issues that are, I'd say, unknown in most cases. Like here, for example, in Lesotho, there's so much happening in the mountains, and it happens to people who don't have access to social media or newspapers or any kind of technology, but they have such profound stories to tell, and their struggles also. Through telling those stories, we can address whatever struggles that they have within our reach, that is. But for the sake of awareness and for the sake of identity and being known, yeah, having your own voice.
What she was doing, what we wanted to do, and we see her very much as a potential facilitator for Hijinx if we go down the international outreach program, which is what we're really keen to do.
Now, for me personally, and through the work that I do, art is a medium of mitigation. I think it helps students study at the school. It helps people cope, people with mental illness or any kind of illness. It helps conversations get started, and yeah, which is why I do what I do, and why it would be great to work with you guys.
So that's today.
That's today.
And tomorrow's our last day, and we'll block you then.
خلاص ما فيش دشمن عشان